Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we are diving headfirst into a question that genuinely gets people thinking. What is the ultimate workout routine? It's kind of the holy grail for many, right?
It certainly feels that way.
Yeah.
And let's be straight up about something. The blueprint we're looking at here makes crystal clear right away. There isn't one single perfect routine for everyone. Just doesn't exist.
Exactly. Your body's different. Your life. It's all unique.
Totally. Goals, too.
Right. So our mission here isn't to hand you some rigid plan. Not at all. It's about cracking open this incredible resource. It pulls together science from top places like ACSM, WHO, AHA, and pulling out the absolute core principles, the science, the actionable stuff, the why. So you have the tools to build your best regimen.
Yeah, we're going to unpack what ultimate really means. Because spoiler alert, it's way more than just looking good naked.
Definitely.
It's about the types of movement, sure, but also how stuff like sleep and nutrition are just, they're non-negotiable partners. It's a whole ecosystem.
All right, let's get into it. This material lays out these pillars of lifelong fitness. It's a killer framework. First up, holistic health.
Right. Holistic health. It's not just about one number on a scale or crushing one fitness test. It's about your whole system firing on all cylinders.
Okay.
We're talking a strong heart and lungs, good metabolism, solid bones and muscles, a robust immune system, and feeling good mentally, too.
And the research really hammers home that consistent movement is a massive game changer here.
Oh, absolutely.
It dramatically cuts your risk for a crazy list of chronic diseases.
Wow.
Heart stuff, yeah, but also certain cancers, even cognitive decline. And I love that it highlights the non-scale victories, those things you actually feel.
Yeah, the real world stuff.
More energy, sleeping better, feeling less stress, moving without those damn everyday aches. That's the real sign it's working for you.
Couldn't agree more. So pillar number 2, true strength. And again, this isn't just about how much you can deadlift.
Right, it's functional.
It's exactly.
Yeah.
Functional capacity. Can you do your daily shit with ease? Carry the groceries, play with kids or grandkids, get up off the damn floor without a struggle. It's about staying independent, avoiding injuries.
And here's something fascinating from the research on that.
Oh yeah, lay it on me.
It points out that simple functional markers, get this, your hand grip strength, can actually predict how well you'll age and your future health better than some fancy lab tests.
Wow, now that's compelling, isn't it?
Wait,
speaks volumes.
Totally.
And the material explains why strength training is just such a crucial investment. Dynapenia, the loss of strength, that often hits before sarcopenia, which is losing muscle mass.
Oh, okay.
So lifting isn't just about getting bigger muscles. It's about keeping that nerve-muscle connection strong, fighting frailty.
Yeah.
It's building resilience for later life.
Building that strong foundation for your future self. Makes sense. Which leads to pillar 3, longevity, or more specifically, health span.
Yes. Crucial distinction. It's not just about living longer. It's about living longer well, with vitality, without being bogged down by chronic illness.
That is the goal, right.
Absolutely. And regular, varied exercise fundamentally impacts the drivers of aging. It seriously reduces your risk of dying from any cause.
The research points to key biomarkers that exercise really boosts. First, VO2 max.
Your body's max oxygen use.
And this is identified as one of the strongest predictors of all-cause mortality, period. Exercise slams the brakes on its decline as we age.
Then there's muscle strength again. We touched on it, but that grip strength example comes up again as a powerful predictor of future disability mortality.
And even just how fast you walk comfortably, gait speed.
Seems so basic, right? But it tells you a ton about your nervous system, cardiovascular, musculoskeletal, all working together. Slower speed lengths to higher risks, dementia, hospital stays, dying earlier.
Okay, that's kind of sobering.
But here's the really empowering part. This stuff confirms these biomarkers. They're modifiable.
You can change them.
You can improve them at any age through targeted exercise. And the biggest bang for your buck, the best longevity boost, comes from mixing aerobic and strength training. It's not either. It's both.
Okay, so we get the why. Holistic health, functional strength, long, good life. Now let's get into the what. What types of exercise make up this well-rounded routine?
All right, first up, aerobic or cardiovascular exercise. This is your absolute foundation, your engine.
Got it. And the benefits are just insane. Heart, lungs, stamina, circulation.
Cholesterol, blood pressure, blood sugar, mood, brain protection, longevity. Covers so much.
How does it work? It's magic.
Big muscles working rhythmically, demanding oxygen.
Right.
That strengthens the heart, makes arteries healthier, releases those mood-boosting endorphins.
Yeah.
It just makes the whole system more efficient and resilient.
Okay, guidelines. What are we aiming for?
Pretty consistent advice. about 5 days a week, moderate intensity, or 3 days vigorous.
Moderate is. You can talk, but not sing.
Yeah, exactly. Vigorous. You're only getting at a few words between breaths.
Yeah.
Heart rate-wise, maybe 65–75% of max for moderate, 76–96% for vigorous. Rough guides, but useful.
And total time per week.
Aim for 150 to 300 minutes of moderate, or 75 to 150 minutes of vigorous. Things like brisk walking, running, cycling, swimming, dancing, whatever gets your heart rate up and you enjoy.
Okay. Next up, and this one feels frickin' vital, especially as we age, resistance or strength training.
Absolutely non-negotiable. Best weapon against losing muscle sarcopenia and bone density osteoporosis.
And the metabolic benefits too, right?
Huge. Helps lower body fat, improves cholesterol, blood pressure, insulin sensitivity, even bumps up your resting metabolism a bit, protects joints, keeps you independent. It's not just about looks, it's about function and health.
Okay, hit me with that killer stat from the research again, the one about combining cardio and strength.
Right. This should make you sit up. Strength training alone reduces all-cause mortality risk by like 9 to 22%.
Yeah.
Pretty damn good.
Yeah, that's solid.
But combine it with regular aerobic exercise,
That risk reduction skyrockets, doesn't it?
explodes.
Yeah.
Jumps to 41 to 47%. If you needed one reason to add lifting, that synergy right there is it. It's the 1-2 punch for living longer and better.
Damn. Okay, guidelines for strength training. How often?
Minimum 2 non-consecutive days a week, hitting all your major muscle groups. Need about 48 hours rest for a muscle group to recover properly.
Or reps and sets?
For general health, that 8 to 12 reps range, pushing towards fatigue, is great. Maybe 10 to 15 if you're older or just starting. Specific goals like pure strength or power use different ranges, like 1-6 reps. But for overall wellness, 8-12 or 10-15 is your sweet spot.
How many sets?
One set is definitely beneficial, especially at the start, but 2 to 3 sets per exercise is generally better to really optimize things. And time-wise for longevity, it's surprisingly efficient. Optimal gains seem to be around 30–60 minutes a week. Benefits might extend up to maybe 130–140 minutes, but then you might hit that J-curve point where more isn't necessarily better for longevity specifically.
What kinds of exercises? Free weights, machines?
Yeah, all of the above. Free weights, machines, bodyweight bands, mix it up. Aim for 8–10 exercises covering the big groups: legs, hips, back, chest, shoulders, arms, core. And the order matters.
Oh, yeah. How so?
Do your big compound lifts first. Squats, deadlifts, presses, rows, the ones using multiple joints and muscles. Do those before isolation stuff like curls or extensions.
Why is that so important?
Because you want to hit those demanding movements when you're fresh. Better form? You can handle heavier loads safely, which drives progress, and you get more bang for your buck. Trying to squat heavy when your legs are already fried from isolation work. Not smart. Recipe for poor form or injury.
Makes total sense. Okay, third component, flexibility.
Yep. All about range of motion around your joints. Reduces injury risk. Helps performance, posture, blood flow.
How does that work, just stretching the tissues?
Yeah, elongating muscles and connective tissues, but also neural adaptations. Techniques like PNF stretching, that contract-relax method, play into that too.
Guidelines for flexibility.
At least 2–3 days a week, maybe more if you're particularly tight somewhere. Intensity should be mild tension, never pain. Hold static stretches maybe 10–30 seconds, longer for tight spots, like up to 60 seconds. And do static stretching when you're warm, like after a workout. Dynamic stretches are great for warm-ups.
And no bouncing.
Right. Definitely no bouncing. Bad news.
Okay, component 4, balance and neuromotor training. Sounds important, especially for falls.
Critically important, particularly as we age. Improves stability, posture, gait, coordination. It strengthens your core and legs, sure, but it also refines that brain-muscle communication.
How often?
Can do it daily, really. Aim for at least 2–3 days a week baseline. Maybe 3 or more days if you're an older adult with mobility concerns. You progress by making it harder, stand on one leg longer, walk heel-toe, try closing your eyes carefully, use less support.
Things like Tai Chi or yoga fit here.
Perfectly. Tai Chi, yoga, Pilates, they're fantastic for balance and neuromotor control.
Okay, and finally, you mentioned HIIT, high-intensity interval training. Optional but potent.
Exactly. Short, intense bursts, brief recovery, super time efficient.
What are the big wins with HIIT?
Improves oxygen use quickly, aids fat loss, might build some muscle in less active folks, lowers resting heart rate, blood pressure, improves blood sugar control, gives you that afterburn effect, the EPOC, and maybe even cellular benefits, autophagy, HGH release, DNA protection. Powerful stuff.
Guidelines. How often?
Usually 1–2 times a week is plenty because it's demanding. Needs recovery. Structure is key. Short, near maximal bursts, often under 30 seconds, then brief rest. Intensity has to be high, Apply it to running, cycling, rowing, body weight.
Safety first, though.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Choose exercises you can do safely at high intensity. Start familiar. Get enough rest between intervals so you can actually hit that intensity again.
Right.
It's not about just getting tired. It's about peaks and recovery.
Okay, so putting it all together, the real magic is in the mix, isn't it?
Without a doubt. That synergy, especially between aerobic and strength, is where the massive health and longevity benefits lie. Flexibility and balance are like the essential support crew. They keep you moving well and prevent problems.
And remembering that dose-response idea. Hit the minimum's great. A bit more can be better. But find that sweet spot before you hit diminishing returns, that J-curve.
Exactly. So we know the why and the what now. How do you actually build your routine? It's not grabbing a cookie-cutter plan. It's applying principles to you.
Right, the core training principles. Specificity, individuality, progressive overload variation. That NSCA hierarchy makes sense. Specificity first.
Got to train for what you want to achieve, right? 10K training looks different from powerlifting, which looks different from just wanting to keep up with daily life.
Yeah.
Goals dictate methods.
Great individuality. We're all different. Genetics, age, history.
Yep. The plan must fit you. What works for your buddy might wreck you or just be ineffective.
Progressive overload. The engine of change. Got to make it harder over time.
Absolutely critical. Add weight, reps, sets, time, frequency, less rest, more complex moves. Something has to progress. If 10 reps feels easy, add a bit of weight, 2.55 pounds upper body, 10 pounds lower maybe. No overload plateau city. Stagnation.
Variation keeps it fresh, prevents boredom and overuse injuries.
Change exercises every, say, 3-5 weeks, or use periodization plan changes over longer periods.
And reversibility, use it or lose it. Got to stay consistent.
Sad but true. Fitness fades if you stop.
The FITT principle, frequency, intensity, time, that's just a simple way to manage the variables, right?
Exactly. A handy mental checklist for tweaking your program based on the other principles.
You mentioned periodization. Sounds intense, like for pros only.
It can be, but the concept is useful for everyone. Thinking in cycles months, weeks ensures planned variation and progression over the long haul. Even simple blocks focusing on different things like endurance for a few weeks, then strength, helps keep things moving forward and avoids burnout.
And setting SMART goals. Specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, time-bound. Crucial for direction and motivation.
Totally. Instead of get stronger, maybe it's do 5 unassisted push-ups by July 1st, or lower my resting heart rate by 5 beats in 8 weeks. Makes it real.
So designing the weekly blueprint, it's about plugging these pieces into your life, allowing for rest, active recovery.
Yeah, using those sample templates as inspiration, not rigid rules. Maybe you do strength months, cardio 2-sat, flexibility balance sprinkled in or on rest days, whatever works for you. Active recovery like walking or stretching is great too.
And the non-negotiables, warm-ups, always.
Always. 5-10, men's light cardio, dynamic stretches, gets the body ready, reduces injury risk.
Cool downs too, equally important.
Yep. 5-10 men's light activity, then static stretches. Helps recovery, flexibility.
And maybe the hardest skill, listening to your body.
Oh man, that's huge. Knowing good effort discomfort versus bad pain. Recognizing when you're overly fatigued, need more rest, need to back off, or maybe even see someone. It's critical for staying in the game long term.
It's applying the science, but with judgment and self-awareness. That art and science blend.
Precisely. Now, the workout is key, but it doesn't exist in a vacuum.
Yeah.
These other lifestyle factors, they're not optional extras. They massively impact your results. Ignore them, and you're shooting yourself in the foot.
Nutrition first, fuel and building blocks.
Exactly. Carbs for fuel, protein for recovery, and growth, especially timing it around workouts, can help. Healthy fats for hormones and overall health. Whole foods are king.
Limit the processed crap. Mediterranean diet's a good model.
Great model. Lots of plants, healthy fats, lean protein, and hydration. Water, water, water. Nutrient timing can be a factor too. Pre-workout fuel, post-workout recovery snack with protein and carbs.
And that blunt truth. You cannot outtrain a bad diet.
Gospel. Doesn't matter how hard you work out if your nutrition is garbage. Your body needs the right materials to adapt.
Okay, next up, sleep. The ultimate recovery tool.
Couldn't have said it better. So much critical stuff happens during sleep. Muscle repair, growth hormone release.
Hormonal balance, energy restoration, brain function, mood, immune system.
All of it. Skimp on sleep and everything suffers. Aim for 7-9 hours for most adults. Consistency is key. Same bedtime, wake time. Cool, dark, quiet room. Wind down routine, limit screens and stimulants before bed.
Lack of sleep just tanks everything. Performance, recovery, injury risk, mood.
It really does. It undermines all your hard work.
And stress management. Chronic stress is a killer for gains.
Big time. Increases injury risk through tension, messes with recovery via cortisol, disrupts sleep, kills focus. Makes you feel like crap.
But exercise itself is a potent stress buster, right?
One of the best. Modulates brain chemistry endorphins, serotonin regulates cortisol, releases tension, provides distraction, builds resilience over time.
Plus other tools. Mindfulness, deep breathing, social support, hobbies.
Yeah, find what works for you. And notice the synergy here.
They all feed into each other.
Totally. Good nutrition supports sleep and recovery. Good sleep boosts performance, mood, makes diet and stress easier to manage. Managing stress helps sleep. Exercise helps sleep and stress. It's all connected. You got to nurture the whole system.
Which brings us to maybe the most critical factor of all. Consistency. Adherence.
The secret sauce. The best plan in the world is useless if you don't do it.
How do you stick with it? SMART goals help.
Finding activities you actually enjoy. That intrinsic motivation is powerful. Making it a routine, like an appointment. Variety helps. Tracking progress. Social support. Positive reinforcement. Being flexible.
Listening to your body again. Consistency over perfection.
Absolutely. A good enough plan done consistently beats a perfect plan you ditch after 2 weeks, every single time.
And remembering this ultimate routine evolves. It changes with age, fitness, health.
Exactly. Principles stay, application shifts. Older adults, focus shifts more to function, independence, fighting muscle bone loss, balance for fall prevention, strength training becomes even more crucial, balance work gets prioritized.
And for specific health conditions, exercise is medicine, but
Don't consult your doctor first. Always. Needs to be tailored. Low impact for arthritis, careful progression for heart disease, combo training for diabetes, obesity, hypertension, weight bearing for osteoporosis. Exercise helps mental health massively too. But it has to be individualized and safe.
sometimes you need help figuring that out. Professional guidance.
Can be invaluable. Beginners needing form help, people with health conditions needing safe programming, advanced goals, or just needing accountability. Certified trainers, exercise physiologists, physical therapists. Look for good certs like ACSM, NSCA.
Okay, let's bust some quick myths before we wrap. No pain, no gain.
Bullshit. Discomfort is okay. Pain is a stop sign. Don't be a hero.
Lifting makes women bulky.
Nope. Hormones mean lean muscle, tone, strength, bone health, not automatic bulk.
Spot reduction. Crunches for belly fat.
Doesn't work. You lose fat overall, not from one specific spot. Muscle turns to fat. Impossible. Different tissues. Muscle shrinks with disuse. Fat grows with excess calories. No conversion.
Need hours in the gym.
Quality over quantity. Consistent, guideline-based workouts work wonders. Intensity matters. Static stretching before exercise prevents injuries. Dynamic warm-ups are key. Static stretching is better after or separately. Might even hinder performance if done right before intense activity.
Understanding this stuff helps build something sustainable, right? Effective now and adaptable for the future.
Exactly. So, wrapping up, the ultimate routine isn't some fixed plan out there. It's a flexible, science-backed approach personalized for you.
It's about combining all those pieces, aerobic, resistance, flexibility, balance, for truly comprehensive benefits. Health, strength, health span.
And understanding that nutrition, sleep, stress management, they're not optional. They're integral pillars. They make everything else work better. Synergy.
Applying those core principles, specificity, overload, variation, individuality, that's how you make the guidelines yours.
And consistency, driven by enjoyment. That's a damn key to making it last a lifetime.
The journey evolves. Embrace learning, adapting. Your body is capable of amazing things.
Okay, final thought for you to chew on. Think about that synergy we discussed. Beyond the workout itself, nutrition, sleep, stress. Which one of those feels like the weakest link for you right now?
Maybe sleep's inconsistent. Maybe stress is overwhelming. Maybe nutrition's kind of chaotic.
Just focusing on shoring up that one thing, intentionally working on that weakest link, that could potentially unlock huge progress across the board.
Yeah.
It could amplify all your other efforts.
Something to think about. How tackling that might boost everything else. Consider your goals where you are now and how these principles can guide your path.
Your potential is definitely there. Keep exploring it.
We'll catch you on the next deep dive.